how are you doing today? I hope that you are doing amazing and fantastic and wonderful. So today's video is, you can see from the title, of course, but, oh, hello, Cleo. We are going to talk about my 2020 reading in review. I haven't really ever done a video like this, but I decided that I was going to sort of dive a little bit deeper into my reading for the year. So I found this tracker from Book Riot, edited it to what I actually want to have. I'll leave the tracker down below if you want to use it, but I'm probably going to end up using the one that Currently Read Podcast creates. I'm going to become one of their patrons. I'm going to become a patron on their Patreon. Guys, I'm just addicted to that podcast. I can't even explain it to you. Those ladies are freaking fantastic. But, so, I'm going to go through the different statistics that I found, and I sort of like found out about myself that I would not have had I not dived deeper, if that makes sense. So, first, I made these pretty graphs. So, I'm gonna pop this one up. This is the books that I read in 2020. Now, I know that 2020 is still not over, and I could potentially finish some more books between now and then. That's always gonna end up happening. But I think it's not gonna change my stats much, other than like in the amount of books that I read, if that makes sense. So, I read 80 total books so far in this year, and July was my highest month of books read, whereas it looks like October was my least, which makes sense because July, my last month of pregnancy, and I didn't have to work as much, so I like binge read through, I think it was like 12 books in the month of July. Whereas in October, I was going back to work. Alex was going to daycare for the very first time, and I was trying to figure out how to balance work, mom life, as well as still continuing my hobbies like YouTube and our Cozy Escape book club and things like that. So I only read, I think, 2 books in the month of October. But, I didn't think that that was too bad. 80 books in a year, like my goal was only 50. So I feel like I nailed that. Super excited about that. Next, I went through my star ratings. So I had 0 1-star books, 3 2-star books, 7 3-star books, and 22 4-star books, and 48 5-star books. So this got me started to like really think about how I read, and how I'm not as constructive or as critical as maybe I feel like I should be. I'm not saying that I'm gonna start bagging on books or things like that, but I really need to dive deeper into what I think is a 5-star book versus, what a 2 or 3-star book is. So I'm probably going to come up with a rating system. I know I had one, a Cozy rating system, but I think I'm going to sort of revamp that, and you'll have a video coming out soon, because going back through the 80 books that I've read, there were a lot of them that didn't deserve 5 stars that I did give 5 stars, and then some of the like 4 or 3-star books, they should have been put a notch lower, and I just felt really bad about making. I always have like a guilt whenever I make a book 3 stars. 3 stars is good, guys. It's an average book. I don't know why I feel bad about giving a book 3 stars, but I do. And I mean, those 3 books that I gave 2 stars, they should have been 1-star books because I did not enjoy them. I was super salty about it, and I feel like I did a disservice to you guys because I always try and look on the positive side. And I can still look on the positive side and tell you guys, like, if you like this, this, and this, then you'll like this book. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I just need to be a little bit more honest. Not that I was dishonest. I don't know why I keep itching. But yeah, so those are, it made me be a little bit more introspective of myself and my reading. I was very happy with this. So I also went for publication dates. So new books versus backlisted books. And so if you don't know what a backlisted book is, it's a book that wasn't published in the year that you're reading it. So anything that was published 2019 or further back is a backlist book versus anything that's published in 2020 is a new book. So I did pretty good. I did 56.3% of my books were backlisted books, whereas 43%, almost 44% were new books. So I feel like I also need to read more of the books that I own. I have a whole stack of books in my TBR that my books are full. I need to dwindle those down more. So I've got like some more things going on. But I was pretty happy with that. The genres that I read. This one, like, it's like I wasn't surprised, but I was still kind of surprised, and I was almost disappointed in myself. But the genres I read, so fiction was like 1.3%, science fiction was 10%, fantasy was 1.3%, and 87.5% was mystery. And when I actually like did like the math, 10 books that I read this year were not cozy mysteries. 70 of them were cozy mysteries. And not that I don't love me some cozy mysteries, I do. But I think that one of the reasons why I did not read as much as maybe I wanted to is because I needed to have palate cleansers in between all of the cozies that I was binge reading. So those were sort of the genres that I read. We also have like average book size. So books that were like less than like, I guess like 100 pages, it was about, I think maybe 6%. 100 to 200 pages was 15.9%. 200 to 300 pages was 36.2%. And books that were bigger, 300 to 400 pages, were 39.1%, and I did read one book that was over 700 pages. So I read a total of 17,836 pages in the year of 2020, which again, not too bad. I was pretty happy with that sort of amount of things that I was reading. But going through all of this, I do have some goals for 2021. So one of the goals is my Goodreads goal. I always do a Goodreads goal, and it's going to be 50 books. I mean, I think that that is pretty high considering I'm a new mom and, you know, work's crazy and everything like that. Another thing that I am going to do is I'm going to read one non-cozy book a month. I really need to just, because I love science fiction, guys, and I love fantasy, and I love fiction, and I'm really missing them right now, and I want to spread out my reading a little bit more. Don't get scared. That doesn't mean that I'm not gonna read cozies, but I want to read more diversely. I also want to read one book I already own a month. Just one book that I already own. So that can be a cozy, that can be anything. And then last but certainly not least is I want to be more constructive of the books that I'm reading. I want to be able to really articulate why I loved a book or why I didn't love a book. So those are my goals for 2021 and my 2020 wrap up. How was your reading year? Let me know down below. That's the end of this chapter of Courtagonist. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, happy reading. Bye.